The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. This week on the show, we're asking, how did Shane Black pull this off after being part of the Marvel machine? Is this the best Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling performance? And how do you like my car, big boy? I'm Reegs.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amelia. Answer to the call of the wild.
And this is the Film Addicts podcast. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Film Addicts podcast. I'm here with my fellow private dick. And when I say that, I don't mean that he's an investigator of some sort. I just mean that his dick is private. And it's none of your fucking business, honestly. But how are you, Addy?
I'm not... oh, fuck.
He's upset that I've called out his dick as being private. He's like, no, it's not. It's fucking on like 3 or 4 different websites. Don't worry about it.
It is, actually. No, I'm
Got
kidding.
an OnlyFans... a Grinder, and an Only Dan's, which is only people named Daniel are allowed to use that site.
I had a friend named Daniel once.
He's looking at your dick right now, I promise.
It's hard to find. Oh, fuck.
On the internet or in person? Oh no. 2 minutes. 2 fucking minutes. And we've been talking about dicks for both of them. How are you, beautiful? What's going on?
I am alive.
Yes. And in living, unless you're a bot of some sort, and I've been taken in by the AI. What's how you surviving?
Yes, absolutely.
What's been happening though? What's been going on in your sphere? Have you seen Superman yet?
No, I know the biggest thing about that film, and I haven't seen it.
Yeah, tell me what happened, because I want to fucking call these chumps out.
I saw an article talking about one of the biggest appearances in the film, and it's not even in the because I called them out on Instagram, and then somebody texted me saying what happened, and then I told them what happened, and they were like, "That's the biggest thing in the film, and it's technically not even in the film either." If you know what's coming down the line, you can guess what that is. And the other thing is, I know one of the biggest castings that's been hidden in like the trailers and posters and everything. Yeah, IndieWire did that. They straight up just showed his face and told it in the thumbnail of their Instagram clickbait article.
Bullshit. You're supposed to be a professional fucking entertainment news outfit, IndieWire. Fucking pull your socks up. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's like, how many people go online and say no spoilers this time? The movie's been out for fucking 4 days. Like, it's not enough to be right anymore. You've got to be first, and everybody wants to be first. Nobody wants to be... Actually, it's a bigger issue, like, journalistically, but just in terms of this entertainment stuff, you know the fucking rules. Seriously, like, what a bunch of fucking wankers. Anyway, fuck those people and all of their stupid shit. We're going to talk about The Nice Guys, to a Shane Black picture. Kind of like a spiritual sequel to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, in my opinion. I fucking love this movie. It's right in that sweet spot of the 70s kind of style. It's a noir, but it's also got comedy. Like it was made just for me. And I love it so dearly. But before we do that, we're going to have to do our segments because we've been watching some shit.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the segments that we do?
Yeah, sure. But before that, how are you doing? What's been going on?
I always do that. I always go straight to the segments and don't tell you how I am because I don't see it as important.
You are important.
Yeah, no, I just, like, why anyone wants to hear about my day, I wouldn't know. What happened? I'm seeing Superman tomorrow, so I might stay off social media just in case I fucking run into IndieWire, bunch of cocks. And yeah, looking forward to that. And we'll report back. We might do an episode on it if I like it. But if I don't, we'll just do Man of Steel again. And it won't matter.
We do Man of Steel again, but this time it's on OnlyFans and it's the sexual position.
It is. It's just me and you acting it out, and that's beautiful. You know, we can go on your sites as well. Anyway, what are we
watching?
What are we watching? What have you been watching? Or is it my turn to go first?
You go first.
I watched a couple of things. One was The New World, the Terrence Malick film from the mid-2000s, probably 2005, something like that. It's a supposedly historical account of the real Pocahontas story. And it's not super accurate, but it's more accurate than having fucking singing people and, or, you know, animated or whatever. And it's got young Colin Farrell in it. He's excellent as John Smith, and Christian Bale's in it as well. And it's directed by Terrence Malick, who doesn't make movies. He makes, you know, 3-hour-long tone poems with imagery. Colin Farrell even said you'd be in the middle of a scene and he'd be like, oh, wow, and go off and film a fucking bird because it's just, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's really stunningly beautiful. It's, you know, all shot on location, mostly natural light. Terrence has an amazing style. He uses really low stops, so there's not a lot of depth of field, really wide lenses. He made a film shortly after this with Christian Bale again called Knight of Cups, which is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It's so beautiful. There's no real script by the time he gets to that point. He just sort of lets the actors play with the ideas of what a scene is. So yeah, really, really stunning. If you get a chance to see it, the Blu-ray edition of it is an extended director's cut as well, which is worth your time. And over the last 2 nights or so, me and Emily rewatched, I should say, the Back to the Future trilogy. And they fucking slap, man. It's probably my favorite trilogy. And I'll tell you why. Every time I watch it, new things come up. I start seeing new corners that I haven't noticed before. And one in particular was we were having the conversation about the second one, where old Biff steals the DeLorean after he gets the almanac and takes it back and gives it to his younger self in 1955. Emily made the great point of, wouldn't he then, in to come back to the future and return the DeLorean so that the guys didn't know that it was missing, wouldn't he come back to the future version of the 1985 they go back to, where Biff runs everything? And I was like, yeah, getting a little fucking fourth dimensionally logic here. And we were talking about that, which is really great. Never thought about that before. Michael J. Fox has just got so much star power. He's amazing. And the third one, which I think everyone maligns, but I like it that it's localized. It's this, you know, it's a Western. That's what's up. It flips the entire idea of the other two in the sense that everything goes the opposite direction. So each of those films, at the beginning of the second act, is the chase sequence. So in the first one, it's, you know, he's got the little girl with the box cart thing and he takes it off and he invents skateboards and gets away from Biff and his cronies, and they end up in the manure truck, right? In the second one, it happens again, but it's the hoverboard and his cronies end up smashing into the courthouse and get arrested, right? In the third one, it starts in the bar and then it's a horse chase and he gets hung, and it's Doc who comes and saves him. Marty doesn't win that time. And then the rest of the film, as soon as Clara comes into it, it's Doc's story. The whole film is Doc's story. And I fucking love it. I was so much richer watching it in the 3. Like, I can't ever do just, let's just watch Back to the Future 2. Nah, it's got to be start at 1 and go to 3. And that's how you watch those movies, you know? So yeah, I encourage anybody to go back. If it's been a while for you, fucking dip right back in. It's so cool too, because the people who made it, in their contracts, it says you can't remake it or make sequels without their consent until they die, Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. So I hope they live till they're fucking 90, because it just, you can't touch this one, you know? Well, they're talking about fucking remaking Indiana Jones with someone else. Just fucking leave it. Leave it alone. Just leave it. There's no need.
I've seen the first 2 Back to the Future films and never saw the third one, just because I forgot, basically.
It ends with be continued, you tit.
Excuse me?
You heard me. I called you a tit. Because guess what? You're a tit. Emily called me a nipple last night. She's called me a big nipple. I was like, fuck you. That's a weird insult, babe. You're just an areola then. You don't even have a tip. And then she said my new haircut maybe looked more like a nipple. She's a weird girl. She's all business. And then she says some of the weirdest shit. Like, we were driving one time and she wound down her window. There was a bunch of cyclists and she wound down her window and shouted, "Hand jobs!" at the cyclists.
What?
And yet she's, you know, she is like, she's stage manager for the Australian Ballet. She's like in control. If she said that on comms one night, and Mr. Q or whatever was she's calling the show, she can go so business, and then all of a sudden she's shouting hand jobs at people who are just trying to get some fitness. She's a bizarre young woman. Anyway, I got distracted. We were talking about I called you a tit. That's right. Yeah. You're a tit. Why haven't you? So, and you never revisited to go back to 3?
No, I actually haven't. I watched them the first time, like, quite recently, like 2 years ago or so.
For the first time?
Yeah, for the first time. It wasn't something that I grew up with or had a connection to necessarily. Like, it wasn't like everybody I knew was watching them. Like, the first time I actually fucking, saw that people around me were actually watching shit was when Force Awakens was coming out, and my classmates went back and watched episode 1 through 6. I still didn't.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think as well, like the time's different, because for me, that when those films came out, it was going back to my parents' teenage years. Like, I'm the age that Marty would have. Well, when the film came out, I wasn't Marty's age, but my parents were sort of kids at that time as well. So it kind of made sense to me. If they were to make that film now and set it modern, the first one would be like going back in time to Marty going back in time to or get stuck back there and has to get his parents together. It would be set in 1995. So that's a very different thing, So I feel like maybe the time difference is a bit odd,
Yeah, like the first time I watched it, it was like a beautiful time capsule. Like, it's not, there's a message there somewhere, but it's just dumb old fun.
Well, the message is that your future isn't written, that you have control. Like, nothing is fated. It's all about choice.
I love how the first one ends though, because it's Doc coming back from the future, but it's like he makes like the formula or something from trash in a mixie. Well,
he's got the fusion thing that he's got from the future that changes trash into fuel. Yeah. Mr. Fusion. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And they weren't even going to do a sequel. They were just like, this is a fun way to end it. And then it did so well, everyone was like, well, I'm going to have to, and they're going to the future, it was a fucking good idea. The second one's great. It's 2 hours, and it starts in 85. They go to the future, and then they go back to an alternate 1985. Then they have to go back to the time where the film starts, and then they come back to the original 1985. But it all happens within 2 hours. It's fucking crazy. Excellent picture. Anyway, what have you been watching? I also finished Daisy Jones and the Six.
That's a good one. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Fucking great. Really, really great. If you get a chance, it really rewards by the time you get to the end of it. I was like, I don't like any of these people for a long time. And then by the end of it, you're like, oh my God, I'm damaged too. Anyway, so what have you been watching, friend?
I felt like that when I watched Succession, because all of them are such big assholes. And they're also like, it's so elitist. And they're always needy, and they don't hide that because they've never had to hide that. So they like that's their main trait. The great performances, but fuck me, it's hard to like those people.
I get it. I totally get it. I feel the same way about Yellowstone. I'm like, fuck all these rich assholes and their fucking stupid shit problems. I don't give a fuck. Half of them are racists.
I rewatched Normal People because I had time between classes. Because they do this shit where, they do the shit where like the time between classes will be 3.5 hours. But it's not as much as you can go home and then come back. But if you sit there, you're bored to death. So I watched fucking Normal People and then cried again.
What's the matter, Addy? You've been crying since the last class. It was the Normal People. You should go home. That's cool. All right, so Normal People. What else did you watch?
I watched Normal People and I rewatched The Ritual.
Oh, I saw that. I still haven't seen it.
If you do see it, we'll probably do an episode on it in October, maybe.
Okay, all right. Well, let's earmark it for that. Yeah, because it's a horror picture, is it not?
I understand it has flaws, absolutely, but like it goes well on rewatch as well, where you pick up a lot of things that you weren't, because it's like what happens in the last 20 minutes of that film you are not expecting. And it's never like foreshadowing anything until you go back and rewatch it, and you're like, and it's also like, it's on a deeper level. It's about dealing with guilt and grief and breaking the cycle of violence and substance abuse. It's really cool.
I'll let you in on a little secret, everybody, and you, my sweet friend Addy. Perfection is a myth. There's no such thing. There's absolutely no such thing. There can be like certain things about a person or about a something that you see as being perfect, but the idea of something that is completely unchangeable is ridiculous. Like even a person, you're like, that person is perfect. You ask that person if they think they're perfect, and they're like, no, my teeth are fucked up. When I laugh, I snort. Sometimes I have the diarrhea. Like it's a total myth. Like get that out of your head. Striving for perfection is like, you know, trying to catch a falling star. It's just never going to happen. Just enjoy the fucking trip, man. We're all bumpy. Let's be bumpy together, you know?
That's very well said.
Thanks. I'm full of shit. Wisdom. Okay, so ritual, normal people. We're going to do that in October. Anything else?
No. Like I said, I haven't had any time whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm too busy updating your Only Dance page. That's cool. Yeah.
Also, I want to go back to not everything is perfect, because I disagree. Because you exist and Keanu Reeves exist.
Man. Oh, you have no idea what that does for my soul. I got to tell you, that's beautiful. Someone told me the other night, we went out to dinner with some friends of Emily's from the it was like one of the fucking conductors, this world famous conductor, and I'm sitting there having dinner with him, and there was all these dick jokes and everything. It was fantastic. But at the end of it, he was like, we were paying the bill, and said, no, you know, thanks for including me, kind of thing, because I'm not part of them. Like, you know, I just come along, I'm a spouse. And he's like, no, you're a great storyteller. I was like, that's probably the nicest fucking compliment I've ever got in my life. And then I blew him.
Right there in the restaurant?
I was like, oh, you're getting sucked off. Right there. He was paying the bill and he's like, oh my God. And I gobbed him. That didn't happen. Poor Johnny. His wife was right there. Like, would have been, she was watching though. She enjoyed it. No, to be put in the same class as Keanu Reeves, are you kidding me? That motherfucker's 60.
And you're Reed Richards.
Yeah, I know. Everybody, I got a haircut, everybody, and I've got the cropped sides and the shorter top, but you can see my salt and pepper, so I do look very, very plastic, man. None of me stretches, though, except my patience. Okay. I wanted to ask you something about one of the things you watched, though, and I forgot what it was now. Must have been The Ritual. We'll come back to it if need be. Do you want to do some nerd news?
Let's do some nerd news.
We've got some nerd news for you. It's all good, most of it. Some of it's shit, but that's why we're editing it in as well, because, you know, life isn't all candy and roses. Sometimes it's getting blown by a person you hardly know at a restaurant. Actually, that sounds like a pretty good time.
Yeah. I was like, how's that a bad thing?
Yeah, you're right. I'll have that lobster and that guy can suck me off. All right. Going in and choosing the fish or the lobster that you want to eat at a restaurant is absolutely bizarre to me. Like, eating animals is weird enough, but when you go in and go, yeah, I'll have that one that's got a personality and feelings and all that stuff, as opposed to all the other ones. Very, very weird. Anyway.
Oh, fuck. That reminds me of something. Do you have Tesco there?
No, but I know what it is, though.
Like the Tesco that we used to go to. As you enter, there's a seafood shop. And beside the menu, they would have this, like, they would have a tank. And on it were crabs that you could choose. And then, you know, I used to get really scared. Until, like, one day I walked up to the rack. And then I saw that they were tied up. And so because I thought it was, because they're tied up so that they don't, like, crawl out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I didn't know. And, like, I thought it would be, like, ropes or anything. They were tied up by fucking rubber bands. So I snapped it, and it snapped the fucking rubber band. Yeah. And it just jumped on the floor, and I just ran the fuck away.
Yeah. Do you know why it did that? Do you know why it snapped the rubber band and ran across the floor? Because it didn't want to be killed and eaten.
Yes.
You can't, like, if you've got to do that to them, it's wrong. Fucking hell. Anyway, sorry, I went on a vegan rant last week as well. This is bugging me a lot at the moment. I don't know why. Poor crabs, just trying to live their life. Crabs don't want to be tied up. They're not into S&M. They're not into crab S&M.
What's S&M?
Sadomasochistic sex, like bondage and stuff like that. You know, they're not into ties the upsies and like put some handcuffs on and you tickle the toes with a feather or whatever the fuck you're into, cover it in cream. No, I mean, I'm sure a crab would taste delicious if you cover it in cream, but not when it's alive. It doesn't want to have weird, kinky sex with other crustaceans, I don't think. Not sure if they think that way. Anybody out there in the comments know if crabs like having weird sex? Let us know. That might be the weirdest sentence I've ever said on this show. Oh, well, episode 70, by the way. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. I'm fucking manic as hell at the moment, everybody. It's been a weird day and the moon's full and it's all the energies are just bursting out of me like crabs.
Wait, is that a real thing that happens on full moons?
That it affects your mood? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, people might think it's, you know, hippie bullshit or whatever, but I feel different. And sometimes I don't even know that it's a full moon. And Em goes, "You're in a weird it's a full moon because I've got all this energy and I'm all feral and shit." Like it's just, you know, it has an effect on people. It has an effect on the tides. Like, why would it not have an effect on us? Our bodies are 90% water.
That's so true. And we're not a science podcast.
We are the opposite of that, if anything. There's nothing scientific about what we do. We were just talking about whether or not crabs have weird, kinky sex. Do crabs do anal? Do crabs do anal? You don't know. I don't know either. Let's ask a scientist.
I think they have to. There's no other way that goes in.
I don't know how they procreate.
Have you seen a king crab, like fully grown?
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah, dude. Like, fuck me.
There's those other ones that are on that one particular island that look like fucking sheep. They don't look like sheep, but they're the size of sheep. Like I don't know why I said sheep. People look at sheeps are all different sizes, Reeks. I could have said like a dash hound or something. Like everybody knows what that is, you know.
I don't.
A sausage dog.
Oh, like a beagle?
No, sausage dogs are low to the ground. This is not nerd news at all. What are we doing?
Fuck it.
This isn't crab news. We're not doing crab news. Juan sent me a message. Hey, Juan. Sent me a message. He sent me one message and it said, like talking about how we're, you know, doing the Man of Steel episode and we lost our fucking minds and it was completely unhinged. And I was like, yeah, I think I apologized. I think I was like, yeah, sorry about that. And he's like, why do you think I listen to the show? Like that's, it's because you're insane that I dig it. So hopefully everybody's enjoying this because we still haven't got to any news. Daredevil Born Again. Daredevil's red like a crab. Daredevil Born Again season 2 has officially wrapped filming. Exciting. The series premieres on Disney Plus on March 2026 and Kristen Ritter has returned. What a big banner year I'm having. I think the fans are gonna be very, very thrilled. We're doing some cool stuff. So she's absolutely in it. I think she can break the silence now that they finished shooting and all that stuff. So yeah, I can't wait to see the Defenders back on screen again because I feel like they didn't get a good enough chance.
Defenders minus Iron Fist.
No, he's in it too.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was seen on set with Mike. Is it Mike Coulter, the guy who plays Luke Cage? They were seen on set together. But yeah, I know you sort of weren't super keen on season 1, but are you excited for season 2?
I'm optimistic.
That's a good place to be. You know, can't ask for much more than that. These ones kind of all go together. These next few, and it's interesting. Superman, James Gunn's Superman 2025, debuts at 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, or tomatoes, however you say it, which is I'm told pretty fucking good. I'm not going to do the comparison to the other Superman movies, but yeah, pretty fucking good. Which is interesting because we haven't seen it yet, so we're not going to talk about it. But this woke thing that's going on about this movie.
Oh my God.
Isn't it insane?
I'm so fired up.
Isn't it insane just how crazy people are? But like, he's still a white man Superman. What the fuck is woke about it? Because they're telling an immigrant story. We said this last week. It's always been that, you fucking idiots.
He's been an immigrant for over 80 years.
Yeah. And they've leaned into it hard. A lot. And now all of a sudden it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, people are looking for shit to talk about. I think woke is the most weaponized word of our time, like the current period, because it used to mean something very different, and now it's been usurped by the people who we were talking about, and now they're on the saying that things are woke or whatever, and it's just, and all it is about inclusion and diversity in storytelling. But all of a sudden it's woke, or having a woman in a role, or whatever the fuck. Like, and two key examples of this, and obviously it's not working because Superman's doing great, had a huge box office opening, like one of the biggest ever, but more than they were expecting. It's 86% on that. It's 4 stars across the board everywhere I see it, even on Letterboxd, which is fucking unheard of. So they're wrong, clearly. But in terms of wokeness, at one point, David Zaslav shut down the Val Zod movie back in 2022, the Superman, the African-American Superman. Well, he's not African-American, he's from Krypton, but played by an African-American actor, it would have been. I think they were talking about Michael B. Jordan even. Shut down the making of that movie because it was going to be too woke. Why? Because there's a black guy in it. Black Panther was one of the most successful movies of all time, and that came out, 6 years before that? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And to add insult to injury, and when I say injury, I mean this guy's career, ex-Superman actor Dean Cain says James Gunn's new Superman movie is too woke. Listen, Dean. Listen to me, Dean. He said, how woke is Hollywood going to make this character? Why are they going to change these characters to exist in the times? For Superman, it was always truth, justice, and the American way. Well, they dropped that. He's talking about it being him not being an American. He's talking about him being an immigrant, which is pretty fucking prescient considering what the fuck's going on in the United States right now with ICE and shit. They've also got, I was about to send it to you, Daredevil, Born Again, whatever. There's fucking officials walking around, like enforcement officers walking around in plain clothes and masks without tags, without badges. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Anyway, so Dean Cain comes out and says this. I'm like, dude, way to clamour for attention just because someone's talking about Superman again and that's the only thing you ever did, except playing a fucking racist in the goddamn whatever it was. It might have been Criminal Minds or something. He did an episode where he was not a rapist, a racist. He was both of those things. He was a racist rapist. Fucking no one gives a shit what you've got to say, mate. Just shut up and enjoy the fact that maybe you still get residuals or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying?
I hope he fucking doesn't. I genuinely hope he fucking doesn't.
No, he probably won't. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant. I want to hear what you have to say about this because you are an actual person of colour and you live in a country that isn't your country of birth and you're also have a perspective.
I don't want to get political, but Superman has always been political. He was made by 2 Jewish immigrants. It used to be hope, justice, and the American way. Or truth, justice, and the American way. Yeah. And it's not the American way for obvious fucking reasons. And it is what it should have been from the beginning. And they call it out in Superman and Lois, where at the end of the series, Clark talks to Lois and he's like, I once stood for truth, justice, and the American way. And what now? And she goes, truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. And
come on,
yeah, that's what Superman is. And to weaponize his heritage is to disregard any form of knowledge that you claim to have about that character, because these people who are saying that, we know who these people are, but these people who are saying that by marketing this film as an immigrant story and by marketing Superman as an immigrant, they are sort of going woke with Superman is just showing how much these people will take anything they can and grasp at any chance to have some sort of jab at people. And it's all clickbait and rage bait, and it doesn't make any fucking sense, and it never did. And it never will, because Superman is about hope, and these people shall never have that.
No, you're absolutely right. They're hopeless because if they were actually to be happy for a second, they wouldn't fucking know what to do with themselves. If they actually embraced the being of the human being, then fuck, no one would know what to do. They wouldn't have any of the complain about or whatever, and then they wouldn't be able to do all the shit that they do to alleviate that feeling, which is, would be to do with the pleasure principle. So, I feel like shit, so I'm going to drink, or I'm going to do drugs, I'm going to eat something, you know what I mean? Like if you admit there's a problem, then you then have to fucking deal with it, and they don't want to do that, so they just make the problem everybody else's. But I think you said something really interesting just then. He's about hope. And that's what we've been talking about the last 2 weeks, is that's what it is. That's what that symbol means in the vernacular, but also the way that people look at it. It's the second most recognizable symbol outside of the Christian cross, or the Jewish Star of David. That's got to mean something worldwide. It's not an American poll that they've got that information from, And also, I enjoy the term rage bait, because that sounds like what these people are doing while watching the movie. They're just angrily masturbating, like, oh, I fucking hate this. I hope I come blood. Like,
oh, what the fuck?
That came out of nowhere, that one. Because then I could be mad about that too. Oh, I put a thumb in my bum. I don't even like that, and I'm doing it. Rage bait. Okay. Let's bring it down a level. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Fuck all that shit. Do you know what's awesome? The 1970s. Shall we go back and visit for a little touch, for a little time, for a little bit?
Yeah.
Yes, we should. It's The Nice Guys, everybody. The 1970s set noir comedy by Shane Black, starring Russell Crowe. You've got your Ryan Gosling in there. Angouria Rice as Ryan Gosling's daughter, and sort of one of the detectives as well. It's a fucking fantastic role. And Kim Basinger as kind of like the big bad guy over the whole thing, along with the auto car people, and Margaret Qualley, my future wife. So let's talk about it. What's your relationship to this film? Like, when was the first time you saw it?
2022, maybe.
Wow, so really recently.
It was one of those films where I was like, I'm just intrigued to see what the fuck this is, because it seems so different anything else. And it was just that. Especially
that was coming out at that time. This was, post-Avengers, kind of stuff, or getting close to post-Avengers kind of stuff. Yeah, everybody was losing their minds.
This film is like if Edgar Wright was American.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a little less stylized, but yeah, absolutely.
I argue it's a lot more heavily stylized than almost anything Edgar Wright has done after the Cornetto trilogy, actually. There's so much style, and there's so much... I don't feel this with like almost any other film I watch these days, but there's so much confidence with just like this world, because it's an original script as far as I know, and it's not based on anything, and it's taking this weird idea of what this is not what the 70s were. It's the idea of what the 70s were when you look back at it, and then you take it a step further, and then a step further, and then you end up starting your film with a fucking car driving into a house.
That's a really good point that you make. It feels like the 70s. It doesn't seem to represent the 70s, that style at all. It's almost an extreme of that in a lot of ways. The costuming, the big party they go to at the fucking pornographer's house and all that stuff. It's sort of, what is it like? You said it was like...
It's like the idea of what the 70s were.
Yeah, but you relate it to something else when we were off mic.
Stranger Things, like what Stranger Things does.
For the 80s, though.
Yeah, for the 80s, like especially like season 3 with like the 4th of July and the mall.
Yep.
It's 80s nostalgia, but it's not. It's technically not. But it's what you like to think what the 80s were, basically.
Yeah.
It's what probably like all movies do, to like have that sense of connection.
But it kind of riffs on the period. It's because the noir sort of style of it is not 70s at all. The noir style of it's 40s and 50s, with the dueling voiceovers and all that kind of stuff. But the aesthetic and the themes and tones, like the whole thing, it's all about environmentalism. These bunch of hippies get together and, pornographers, and they make a movie about how these car companies have the formula for an electric car but won't release it because it's going to fucking, destroy the oil industry. And then you've got all the hippies, lying down pretending to be dead because of all the pollution. He's on your hand. Ow! Oh, sorry. I thought you were dead. Like, just. And they're all lying there dead. And he's like, but don't you have masks on? Like, you wouldn't be dead. You wouldn't be lying dead with a gas mask on. You'd just be lying dead. Fucking hysterical. And it's funny, the two. So I'll come back to that. But also the music is just, so 70s and sort of the driving around, the streets, you see the poster for Jaws 2. Like it does really capture, as far as I understand, that period of time, and I wasn't there, but and just thinking about the tone of it, because there's some really serious themes going on here, like young people being used in pornographic films, it maybe in a way that they shouldn't. I mean, that's kind of an oxymoron, but you know what I mean. The environmental message, the fact that Ryan Gosling's character is an alcoholic, is played for laughs a lot of the time, and until it's not, and when it stops being funny is when he's sober and he pretends he's drunk and he saves his daughter from that guy on the roof. Like, and even she says, the daughter is like, you're drunk all the time. Like, you don't know shit, because he lost his wife. And, there's some serious stuff going on there. And Russell Crowe's character, he's kind of this heavy, this tough, but he's intelligent. He's a really smart guy too. It's not just about a bruiser and a detective. No, you've got a guy who's equally clever and a guy who's equally clever and a guy who's big and strong and a guy who's kind of wily. And you know what I mean? Like, the archetypes are being kind of mushed together in a really interesting way.
Yeah, and also I love how they treat Ryan Gosling's daughter in this, because she's the one doing all the fucking work in this movie. She
absolutely is. She's the best detective out of the three of them.
Oh man, like that aspect of it like really pisses me off, because it would have been so great to see like a follow-up.
I mean, it could still happen. I have hope, because they've got that great thing at the end where they've got the business card. It could be something. They could come back and make a version of this, 10 or 12 years later. There's nothing stopping them. So yeah, Russell Crowe's Jackson Healy and Ryan Gosling's Holland March and Angouria Rice is Holly. Yeah, they're kind of this strange little broken family, and it's again when Healy tells the story about how he got famous for being kind of the guy who solves your problems. When you want someone to stop doing something, you call me, kind of thing. And he's sort of telling that story, and it's really, it's like, I don't know why I did it. I just know that I'd never felt that good in my life. And then it cuts back to the real time, and Ryan Gosling Holland's fallen asleep on the diving board of the pool. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that's played for laughs, and then all of a sudden it gets real. Like, there's all these really strange whack down, drag down fights, and the great character Blueface, played by Bo Knapp, he gets the stuff goes up in his face, and then he kills Healy's fish. And then later on, he gets hit by a car while having just kidnapped Holly, and he's lying in the road, and he goes, it doesn't matter if they're sending John Boy, you're fucked. They're never going to stop until we kill you and the little girl. And Holly has said, we need to get him help. I'll get an ambulance. And Healy's kills him. And that's a contention between him and Holly for the rest of the film. And it's why he doesn't end up killing John Boy at the end of it. Because she says, if you do that, I'll never talk to you again. That's not funny anymore. That's a real sweet moment between two people who, like, she sees in him some aspects of her father that she wish her father had.
And she also sees some of the aspects that he could grow into that are not healthy at all.
Yeah, exactly. That he could, and it's funny because it's kind of how it ends. That nobody wins in the end. Nothing really comes of it. And the final shot is them sitting in the bar talking about the killer bees. And Healy's drinking. He goes, well, at least you're drinking again. And the ending with the shot glasses is just fucking epic.
Man, the killer bees sequence is so insane. It's so fucking insane that it's so insane and like so bizarre that you almost forget that it happens. And it's so much better on rewatch because you're like, oh, and then you find it funny, but it's still bizarre because the bee goes, it's a self-driving car.
Yeah, exactly. They have these now.
Fall asleep.
That's one of my fucking favorite. Shane Black talks about this a lot. He's a real student of the study of screenplay structure. His mentor was Albert Brooks, who fucking wrote, network news and sorry, not network news, just network, bunch of fantastic comedies and movies throughout the ages, and they were, chummy. And Shane Black had worked on a bunch of screenplays, Lethal Weapon, Last Boy Scout, these different things, and he'd been paid ludicrous amounts of money, like, millions and millions of dollars. I think one of them was optioned for like, $2.5 million, which was unheard of at the time.
Shit.
And one of his friends asked him to come on and he be a Oscar judge. It's on the Oscar board. And he goes, I'll put your name in. And Shane Black said, yeah, I'd fucking love to do that. He got a call, like a letter saying from the Oscar people saying, we appreciate you trying, but, let's talk again when you have some more legitimate material. And he's like, fuck you, because I make action movies that people actually like and go and see. I'm not able to talk about screenwriting as a screenwriter. So he went out of his way to try and, after having years off and developing things that never happened and kind of being in writer jail, he started developing a rom-com. And he got like 80 pages in and gave it to Albert Brooks. And Brooks was like, I don't know what you're doing here, man. Like, you start really strong, but you're not going anywhere. I don't know what these people want. Like, it's just, this is crazy. And he goes, oh, fuck, my mentor doesn't like it. So he took it back and he's looking through it and he gets to about page 40 and he's like, fuck it, I've got to put a murder in it. And then I've got to put a murder in this rom-com. And that script then became Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is a fantastic neo-noir film. And that was where he was like, oh, no, I know what I'm about. And he made this fantastic picture. Everybody sees it. And they're like, okay, where's this guy been for however many years? Give him Iron Man. And then as soon as he comes out of Iron Man, what does he do? He takes all of that shit and puts it into the place that he loves the most, which is noir, like paperback novel territory, but with the comedy. Specifically in this, like, this is a comedy to me more than anything else, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Laugh out loud moments, particularly from Ryan Gosling, who is playing, his whole career he's done this, but he's playing so against type. I mean, he physical comedy, his timing's so good. Like, where he's on the toilet and Healy comes in and he's trying to hold the gun on him and can't keep the door open and then makes him turn around. Like, just so good. Where Holly says to him, she's stowed away in the car, and then he goes to put her in a cab to get her out of the pornographer's party. And she says, Dad, there's like whores here and stuff. And he's like, what have I told you about? Don't say and stuff. Dad, just say there are whores here. Like, his timing is pitch perfect. And the one that fucking kills me the most is what I said before when we were off mic, when he's like, where have you been? I was in the pool. What do you mean you're in the pool? I had to question the mermaids. Like, as if it was a normal sentence. Just so amazing. And when he falls down the hill.
Oh, man.
March, he said, man, if she can't do it, no one can. March. And then he lights the cigarette and turns around and sees the guy that they're looking for, Sid Shattuck, with half his face blown off. And he's got that beautiful turn towards camera. The cigarette falls out of his mouth and he's like, and he can't get the word out. Like, it doesn't get better than that as far as comedy acting goes,
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. He is such an incredible talent, and like just the way he plays both, like this, the reason I said Edgar Wright of all people is because this reminds me a lot of The World's End. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah,
a long time ago, but yeah.
Where like the Coronado trilogy is Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and Edgar Wright, and like these three different films, but it's the main core team. But in the third one, it's flipped, where Nick Frost in the first two films is like is the cool, well, not cool, but like the humble yet kind sidekick who becomes on who eventually then becomes on the same level of coolness with the main character. Like that's in Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz more prominently though.
Yeah, very much so.
And it's switched here where it's like not only is he not like humble and kind, they play it so against type that he is rude and harsh towards Simon Pegg's character, and that's like it's been the opposite the previous two films. There is a film there, and then something happens and it completely fucking shifts. And then you start to see the entire film in such an incredibly different way, and you want to go back to it again and again. And Simon Pegg is playing an alcoholic who, for the majority of this film, the alcoholism and everything is just, it's for laughs until it isn't.
Yeah.
And there's a part in the film where Nick Frost is like, well, how do we know it's actually you? And he just starts banging his head on the wall because that's something that they've expected him to do because of his substance abuse. And that's like, it's so good. That's what Ryan Gosling's character reminds me of.
Yeah, very much. There is a real, although they don't end up in a positive place in terms of the story getting to a happy ending, you know, they get all this information, they get the film, you know, they have this huge blowout at the auto launch. Kim Basinger comes along and they're giving him a shit, and you know, I think he's referring to you as being like Hitler or whatever, and you know, she cuts all that short, and then they're just in the bar, nothing's happened, and yeah, they don't win. So it's, yeah, in the end, it doesn't play for laughs, you know. I think one of my favorite meetings of all time, like apart from the first scene they have together, where, because, you know, Ryan Gosling's looking for the same person that Russell Crowe's looking for, which is the Margaret Qualley character, Margaret Qualley is just one of the most talented actresses working today. She's so stiff and still. When she does explode, you can't take your eyes off her. It's just this fantastic, you know, it's like someone hitting you in the face with flowers. You know what I mean? You really take notice, and it's quite pleasant, but it still is a bit of a, you know, it is an assault. Stunningly beautiful, incredibly talented. She's got a great voice. Yeah, she plays the shit out of this role. And when she gets shot, you're legitimately shook because it's like, fuck, like they didn't win again. You know, after that huge big fight with John Boy, it's a real moment that you're like, and he's like, John Boy's driving down the road and he's like, oh, this has just been made totally easy. But yeah, one of my favorite meetings, apart from where they first meet each other, like I was saying, and he breaks his arm and he's like, can I take one of your apples? And then he's coming out, she's like, one of you? He's like, oh yeah, like I've had one of these in about 30 years. Is the next meeting at the bowling alley where he's there for the birthday party, and they're sitting across from each other. And my favorite line delivery that Ryan Gosling has is where he's like, you know, we're going to look for this porno actress or whatever, and he's like, young lady, the porno young lady. Like he's trying so hard to be chivalrous and sharp, but he's not. He's just not. And yeah, I like Ryan's great in the sense that my business partner Dan really likes him, and he said to me like years ago, he was like, he never plays the same character. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's always the same character. He's like, no, watch his films again. He's doing these subtle things, and it's so fucking true. The Ryan Gosling you see in First Man is not a Neil Armstrong, absolutely not. But it's not the same Ryan Gosling you see in Gangster Squad or this or La La Land or fucking, what was the other one? A Place Beyond the Pines. Like he's doing really, really subtle work. And then you do something like Ken, where it's this like amazingly cartoonish, over the top version of the thing that you think he is when he's being interviewed and stuff. Like, yeah, he's got a hell of a lot of range, and a lot more than people think. Absolutely. I love that you brought up the fact that he's always playing against type, and that's become his like thing. That he always plays against type, so like he's typecast in roles that he wouldn't be in, but he is, because he's always playing against type. Yeah, that's true. And I feel like Russell Crowe kind of leaned into that as well a little bit, but now he's kind of doing some interesting shit. He's, you know, the Exorcist movie, the two of them actually, and the Road Rage picture and stuff. He's kind of...
There's two of them?
Yeah, he was in the Pope's Exorcist, and there's another one as well.
Oh shit! No, because there was like a... Because I thought it was a sequel, but it isn't.
It's not. No, it's absolutely not. Just a shout out to who's the guy who plays John Boy? He also plays a negative man in Doom Patrol.
Matt Bomer.
I love him so much. Just steely and cool and cold as this guy. I love that sequence where he comes in and Holly like has the gun to him, and then the guys come in as he goes out to the car and brings out the machine gun, and Healy goes, throw me the gun, and he throws it to him and it goes through the window. It's just like the pratfalls are fucking fantastic. The physical comedy that's going on is excellent. And just the little tiny little asides they have to each other, like that scene. Oh yeah, hang on, sorry. Let me go back a step. We were talking about Shane Black and I lost my train of thought. He was, you know, a real student of screenwriting. He's a real big proponent of, there's a book that I have over here actually. Where is it? Sid Field's screenplay. And it's all about, and the William Goldman one as well, Adventures in the Screencraft and Screenwriting, whatever it is. Setups and payoffs, super important. And he's really good at it. The setup being the one we were talking about before, where Gosling falls asleep at the wheel drunk and the bee's in the back. And then Healy wakes him up. Oh, no, Healy's talking about he's got a gun on his ankle. Right? And then Healy wakes him up. They hit the pylons. The water goes everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Later on in the movie, when the secretary for Kim Basinger's character ends up being, the African-American woman ends up being Plant, and she pulls a gun on him, Holland drops to his feet and goes for the fucking gun on Healy's ankle. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, what's he doing? He goes, I don't know. Let me find out. What are you doing? He goes, I'm going for your ankle gun. Who the fuck told you I had one of those? He goes, oh, did I dream that? Yes, you fucking dreamt it. Like, it's just, that's a great payoff for something that was just a joke before. Like, it was just a gag about him falling asleep. So good. And then the tiny little ones as well, the tiny little jokes that get me, like they're talking about the Munich. What? A guy without his balls in Munich. Munich is a city in Germany. Are you sure? My dad was stationed there. Right. Hitler only had one ball. Like, he was wrong. He was wrong, so he then had to enforce the fact that he's not an idiot by giving a piece of information that was actually true. I don't know about the ball thing, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just the tiny little things that you catch on the way back, you know, for the third and fourth time.
Do you know what fucking sucks? I'm that way, 100%. Every time I'm wrong, I have to say something which I know I'm absolutely right at. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I say something so fucking bizarre. Like...
A lot of the time on this show.
Yes. Yeah. Like all of it. One of my favorite parts is the silent comedy that these two do, where like it's the squeal of it's not technically silent, but like the squeal that Ryan Gosling like when he squeals when Russell Crowe breaks his arm.
Yeah.
It's so
like, it's just oh, do you know the one that really killed me? Like again, an auditory gag. I mean, it was a sight gag too, but the sound of it's really intense. When they pitch Sid Shattuck's body over the fence and it lands on the fucking people having a wedding. Oh, I don't think I've laughed that hard in a cinema. Like since that happened, I was in absolute hysterics, like into the next few scenes, and I had to lean over to Emily and be like, what happened in the last couple of scenes? Because I was cacking myself with that stupid shit. Just so good.
Do you know who plays Sid Shattuck? Or like the body of Sid Shattuck?
Who plays the body of it? No.
Yeah, it's Robert Downey Jr.
Shut the fuck up, it is.
Yep, it is.
That's crazy. Also, that quote that you said before where he comes up and he's drunk in the party and he's trying to find, I mean, Amelia is, hi everyone, I'm Amelia. She's about, and he puts his hand up, dark hair, and answers to the call of the wild. Just kidding, I forget her name. But, you know, if you see me, just, you know, you see me, let me know and tell me my name. Like, he's so fucking scattered the entire film. Hey, Clarky, what's going on?
When Ryan Gosling is having a fucking panic attack trying to articulate, and he's come across a dead body, and it's so fucking funny because Amelia has probably killed this man, and then this fucker just randomly appears in the forest and says, "I'm looking for my gun."
That's right. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm looking for my gun. And then he knows it's her as well. Like, yeah, just fucking fantastic. The other gag that I like from the sorry, I'm just remembering as we go. The gag that I like from the bowling alley scene is where Holly comes up behind him, Angora Rice comes up behind him and goes, boom, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" She goes, "Give me a rim shot." She's super game as well. Like, whoever her parents are pretty cool. Like, where she's sitting at the party, she's sitting in the screening room and they're watching the porno. And she says, I came in and they were all doing anal and stuff. And she says, "Don't say and stuff. Just say they were all doing anal." Like, she would have been like, what, 12 when they made that movie, for crying out loud? Nobody needs to be telling a 12-year-old what that means. What really gets me about it is the subversion of the, "Oh, hey, buddy. Hi, mate. Sorry, I've got a cat. Hello." Oh, look at this guy. Hey, buddy. All right, I'm going to pop you here. Do you want to be on mic? You're not purring, though. Okay, thanks for the input. You're on the show now. Actually, he's on the show. There's meows in the background on our show from him before. Anyway, sorry. The subversion of normal idea. Well, I can't do it with you walking around the mic like that, mate. You're too cute. And on my computer. Okay. All right. On the floor. I'll see you later. The subversion of ideas and the basic way that you tell these stories. There's certain stanzas that you need to have or places you need to hit in order to be classed as a mystery film or an adventure film or whatever. And one of them is the detective doing detective shit. Normally they have to break in somewhere to get information. But normally they don't cut their wrist open and nearly fucking die. Like, that's a lot of blood. That's a lot of blood. Like, that, absolutely ridiculous to have that happen. And that's what Shane Black's so good at. Not when he makes Predator movies, but he's so good at subverting genres. Did you not see The Predator?
That's what happened.
No, not Predator, not the original from the 80s that Shane Black's in. He plays one of the mercenaries with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Years later, after Predator 2 and after Predators and after AVP 1 and 2, they made a film called The Predator, and Shane Black wrote and directed it. It was the film he made after this. And it's a shit heap. And you know how positive I am. And I rewatched it recently, like within the last year, because I watched The Nice Guys on the plane home from the States at the beginning of the year. And I was like, I'm going to check out Shane Black's shit because I'm going to dig him. And I'm like, nah, this one's not good. Again, another great example is where they go to the hotel and they go up in the lift and John Boy's there killing everybody and they just stick their head out, see that shit's going down and then just stick their head back in. And then you see the guy fall out of the window and it cuts back to, and Healy's just standing there just like, don't look. And Ryan Gosling's like actually shaking and his eyes are going weird and stuff. It's just, they're just normal guys, They're not rough and tumble dudes. They're just these two normal dudes.
Yeah, that's my favorite gag of the entire film. Them just like sticking their head out and then going back in. They're like, nope, no, thank you. Yep.
I'm not going to do. And that's like, again, normally the hero would get bound into action or whatever and stuff. It's like, no, I know when I'm beat. If someone out there is throwing pitching motherfuckers out windows, if someone's up there defenestrating folk, I don't want to be involved.
Explain that word to me, please.
Defenestration is where you go out of a window, either by choice or by force. Going through a window.
That's cool.
It's such a great film in that respect, in that it does all the things that you want it to in its genre. Being a mystery picture or a detective picture or whatever, but it takes all these left and right turns just when you're least expecting it, and it becomes this really serious thing where someone can just openly murder somebody in the street and then have that come back later about don't do it again, because, you're going to lose a friendship with this young girl who you've kind of taken under your wing a little bit because her dad's a fucking idiot. But also that's where all the comedy is too. It's like, we're all having a drink in the afternoon, like, and it's just him pissed. So great.
Like one of my favorite parts is Holland figuring out what the numbers mean. That it's not a flight, but it's a hotel room, and it's like he gets so much confidence to a point where obviously like he's sober at that point. And he gets so much confidence, and you can genuinely see him try. Like when he's sober, when he's not sober, he's so like he's completely different. But when he is sober, he doesn't really need to like even try to be cool. He is, because he knows his shit and he knows what he's doing. And and then you see why he drinks, because he's scared shitless with the puppet.
That's exactly right, yeah. Again, the perfect subversion. He's not this fucking dark, morbid, in noir films when the guys are drunk, it's all like, and the dame did me wrong and blah, 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 and fucking, the word, and maybe they were a veteran or something, drinking this. It's fucking, what's his name? It's Bogart in Maltese Falcon, or fucking any of the films Bogart was in, honestly, Casablanca, whatever. It's that. But no, this is the guy who's like, I'm in a lot of pain because of what's happened to me, and he can't smell. A detective that can't smell. And also I'm terrified of having to deal with all these people. I'm feigning that I'm brave. So of course I'm going to have bravey gravy, which is what we call it here in Australia. Bit of the old bravey gravy. But again, perfect subversion.
Like the last act as well that's where you're like, oh fuck, it's an action film. Like it was a comedy before, but it's always been this. And you see the chase. It's so cathartic at the end of it. He just hugs it, and he's beside the car, and he's just all fucked up, and his hair is a mess. And he's just breathing heavy.
Yeah. Also, like he thinks he's invincible at that point.
Yeah.
And also, like the ideas behind it, like we were talking before, the pornographic film industry at the time, which was, I have no idea what it's like ever, but it was probably very exploitative of young people at the time. And they would actually go on to say something, that it would actually have something important to impart information to people about this cover up that's going on. And it is the truth that, that part of the story is true. There was things like that happening, bad dealings going on, particularly in LA, because they had such a huge pollution issue. I think it's probably better now, but the corrupt remain corrupt, and the small guys fighting for justice usually are the ones who get their dicks kicked in, and end up alcoholics, or, heroes who get shot in a diner. Like they're not, that's why it's the nice guys, because they always finish last. Talking about favorite bits and stuff, we've kind of done that the whole thing. What do you think is kind of the moment for you that it's like you knew that this was going to be a film for you? Like, for instance, when I went and saw What We Do in the Shadows, I had no idea what it was. I had no idea who the filmmaker was. I was given free tickets because I worked next door to a cinema. And I went there and I thought it was fine and it was funny. I'm like, oh, this is going to be cute. It's like a mockumentary style with vampires. That's going to be cool. And then the opening credits, one of the vampires is using his levitating ability to vacuum cobwebs off the roof. And I was like, okay, this is You've Got Me movie. What was your You've Got Me movie part for this?
It's the bowling alley scene where he says, Jesus Christ. And then Janet says, you took the Lord's name away.
He's like, no, I found it very useful, actually. Yeah. Mine was when he keeps trying to, like the moment I was like, oh, yeah, I'm totally in, is where he's keeps trying to get one up on Russell Crowe. Like Holland keeps trying to get one on Healy. He keeps going for his gun and then giving up. Oh, fuck, I lost again. And then he breaks his arm and, tell the doctor you have a spiral fracture. And then he takes an apple when he leaves. What a dick. Like, just, yeah, that was the moment where I said, this is a movie for me.
I feel like this is the kind of film that doesn't get made much, or like doesn't get made, period. is because, the whole plot of the film is that the story of the porno had a point.
Yeah. That's right. The porno had a storyline. I love it. Yeah, very, very true. If you had to recommend this to someone, what would you say?
Oh, okay.
If someone said, I haven't seen it, what would you say to them to get them to see it?
I'm genuinely really bad at this. You go first.
I would just say, do you like film noir? And do you like broad comedy? And if the answer is yes to both of those things, this film's for you, because that it has both of those things. And if you like Ryan Gosling at all, or if you like Russell Crowe at all, you'll fucking love it.
If you like Ryan Gosling, this is a film where he's a detective and he interrogates mermaids.
That's perfect. That's a great sales pitch. We should use that for every movie. That's The Nice Guys, everybody, from 2016. Can't be missed. Questions?
Questions. Question 1. Does this deserve a sequel? Yes, please.
100%. It deserves a threequel. I would like to see a threequel. And the next one should be set in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, it should. I would also love if it's not a sequel, as in, like, if it's not like a part 2 or like a continuation film. It would also be, like, so fucking cool if they come back as like a miniseries.
Yeah, I could totally do that. No, I mean, fucking, you write it, get Shane Black to write and direct it. Gosling and Crowe will come back to do that. 100%.
I mean,
Ryan Gosling's busy making astronaut movies at the moment, but, whatever.
Oh, dude, the trailer for the Hail Mary project is so insane.
The only thing is that they've just given too much away again. We know that he ends up coming in contact with aliens. Like, what the fuck did you do that for? What an amazing twist that would have been.
Yeah, true. But also, I saw not an interview, but I was watching a podcast episode, and like one of the people had read the book, and they were like, "I like that they've done that because that happens in like the first 2 chapters."
Yeah.
So
okay.
like it happens, or not like first 2 chapters, but like the first 20% of the book. But yeah, I mean, if it's a faithful adaptation, then yeah, sure. But yeah, it does seem like they showed a lot. But I don't give a fuck because they use one of my favorite songs in the trailer. And it was so great.
Yeah, it's a good trailer. Apart from, again, they just give too much away these days.
All right, so question 2, which is this is a generational thing, like as in never happened before on the show. Our friend Chaz has asked a wholesome question.
Oh my God, are you all right, Chaz? What's going on?
And to anybody who's wondering why that's generational. It's a wholesome question that's not about holes. And it's not about some holes on some ants.
It's not about holes. Or some holes. Or filling them. So, yeah, well done, Chaz. Maybe we're growing as people together, the 3 of us.
Yeah, and he's a motherfucking samurai. So he is growing.
He is 100% a samurai.
All right, Chaz says, what was the nicest / most fulfilling movie watching experience that enhanced the film, and why?
First time I ever saw the concert film Stop Making Sense by the Talking Heads was at the Astor, and every year they have an annual dance party where they move the seats out of the lower level of the place and play the movie, and it's a dance floor. I love the Talking Heads. I'd never seen that film for whatever reason, and going to see it there for the first time with a dance party with Emily there, and it plays like a concert. When the songs end, everybody claps and screams and shouts what the next one is and all that stuff. It was so, I felt so a part of something. It was undeniable. And there's people in the aisles fucking dancing, and it was joyous. That's probably the one that I remember the most. Yeah.
Mine is going to be so generic. Mine was Dune Part 1 because I knew I was going to love the film because it was Denis Villeneuve, and I'd like in preparation I'd read like 20% of the book, which was more than even the movie showed. It was also because it was a really tough time. I was going through a lot, and I dragged all my friends to it, and we all watched it in IMAX. And, there were like a few people who didn't understand what the fuck was going on. But we experienced something then, and like it was great because I'd never done that. And it was the first time that like all of us went and watched the film, and then like now like it's like the group is all like broken off and shit. But like some of the people from the group, we still go and watch. We watched F1 together, and we watched How to Train Your Dragon together, and we were planning on watching Superman together. Like it's still going. It started something, and it's still there.
I love that. There you go, Chaz. You tell us what yours is, mate. I want to hear that. And anybody else out there in internet land, let us know what your most wholesome film going experience has ever been. But in the meantime, thanks very much. We'll see you next week. It's been an absolute bloody joy to talk about this film. We kind of had it on the docket for a long time. And we'll be back next week, hopefully to talk about Superman if it doesn't suck.
Oh my God, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do if it sucks.
So I have to do something else. We could do Superman 3 or Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, if it's that bad. But I'm sure it'll be great.
Is it the one where he drinks?
Superman 3 is the one where he gets drunk, yeah. But he becomes evil Superman, yeah. It's exceptionally good. Yeah. So we might be back to talk about Superman, or we're back to talk about something else. It doesn't really matter. We love you. And thanks again for being here. Addie, you're special, and I cherish you.
I cherish you, adore you, and God, you're fucking hot.
I'm a total babe. I'm an internet daddy. Don't even worry about it. It's so funny. We were recording one of the episodes of No Country for Old Films the other day, which is the show that me and Tommy are launching later this year. I'm just trying to get a few under our belt first. And he said the same thing. It's like he couldn't concentrate because I'm so good looking. It's like, well, I'm all AI. I actually look like Smeagol. I've been trolling you this whole time. Ridiculous.
I would rather have Smeagol than fucking AI, because when Smeagol calls me precious, I know it's from the heart.
That's true. Well, you are my precious, and I'll see you next week, probably for Superman. But in the meantime, everybody, just remember the old motto: fuck hate.
Love wins.